Hey guys, this is Rob with Paintworks here in Phoenix. Over the past couple of years, I've been asked a couple things about how to properly prep your parts using 4KG, and also what's the difference in anodizing. So I'm going to take a couple minutes here and show you. Here we have two parts. We have an AR-15 lower receiver, and we have a standard 12-inch M-LOK rail. Now the standard 12-inch M-LOK rail, this is coated with Type 2, and this is Type 3. How can you tell? Well, at the surface you can't really tell very easily. You can only suspect. Let me show you how you can tell real quickly. So when you're blasting, keep about the same distance, just for testing purposes, and you're going to create a little squirt. Now as you notice inside of there, it ripped the anodizing right off. That's going to be a Type 2, it's very soft. Now let's do the same thing with the lower receiver. Now I'm going to do the same distance here approximately, about a 3-second blast, and you can see how the anodizing has stayed on. So that's going to be your tell of Type 2 to Type 3. What's that mean for you? Well, it means that you're going to use the blast profile slightly differently between the two. So when you're blasting, you never want to go straight onto the part like this. You want to maintain about a 45-degree angle. This is going to give you a much smoother profile and a more uniform profile where you won't see spotting on the anodizing. And the same applies for the rail. You never want to go straight on, go at an angle. These are a little difficult where they're going to be straight on. That's okay. Let me show you how to blast a rail. Now what I'm using here is 120 grit aluminum oxide. This is recommended by KG Industries for their application of their product. Each manufacturer, cerakote, duracoat, they all have different recommendations. But 120 grit for KG Gunkote, and I'm blasting at 80 psi. My blast cabinet is incredibly efficient. It runs about 20 CFM, so it's going to strip much faster than your imported Harbor Freight type cabinet. Let's cut to the chase. So as you can see here, I'm approximately 6 to 8 inches away from my part. You never want to be too close, you want to have a distance. So as you can see, I'm starting here, and I'm going nice and slow to create that profile. Now as you see, I'm also getting that rail, the section right down here as well. That's okay. You're going to create that, and you're going to just keep going and keep going. And you can come back and you can go back in an angle over that top section. And you see how I'm angling all my turns. Every time I turn, I change. What that's doing is that's getting into those nooks and crannies up in the rail. Now you can see how I did the handguard here. I'm going to go ahead and skip forward, and I'm going to move to the lower receiver. Again, same process on the lower receiver. You're going to do linear strokes. And you can see how it's pulling out what appears to be those surface scratches or mars or what have you. And the finish is actually dulling. That's what you're trying to achieve, is you're trying to achieve a dull finish. Now, again, we didn't get some of these areas really well. We're going to flip it around. We're going to come back in. And we're going to do the other angle. Again, this creates a nice, smooth, uniform blast profile. Always go over the part, just like you're spraying, and you've got a nice matted finish. This is the desirable finish using KG Gunkote. So those are the quick steps how you want to blast a part and prep it for anodizing, or for painting. As you can see, it only took me about 1.5 minutes here for these parts. I'm going a bit slower in the video, but in reality I'm about 40 to 50% faster. I could have blasted these parts in about 1.5 minutes because of the efficiency of my cabinet and my overall efficiency. If you have any questions, please comment below. Thanks.